Welcome back to Wepner Farms Productions. Today, it's a wee bit snowy out. It's a little snowy rain, I don't know, not a very good day. So, had some requests. Some people wanted a little equipment tour, so I'm gonna go drive around the farm, give you guys a little tour. Here's our old 2 calf barns that we used to have calves in, but now we built those 2 new barns that is actually replacing them. We got the old dairy barn over here through my window, and old calf barn, whatnot. But we'll start the equipment tour right here, as our feeding equipment is in this shed. So for loading our mixer, we got this DL200 Doosan. Does a nice job. People might think that we need a bigger bucket on it, but we don't, because we actually have no room for a bigger bucket. A lot of these bays a little too small for a bigger bucket. A lot of our mixtures that we're scooping up with that bucket, not super big. Our biggest pen, that's our groups 5 and 6, takes the most feed, and it only takes about 2 scoops of corn silage to accumulate enough to feed them, so really don't have a need for a bigger bucket. So inside this shed that our Doosan is in, we have SurePro protein mix distillers, and then that is our pre-fresh minerals along with our mixer truck. Jumping into this shed, we call it the cleaner shed. It is always somewhat cluttered because we store all of our seed, chemicals, some machinery and whatnot in here. This is a 4020, this is not ours. Kyle fixed it up for a neighbor. So 4020 is not ours. Kyle just fixed that up for a neighbor. He had to split it apart, doing that mechanical stuff. We got a New Holland 320 skid loader. This thing is our wheeled machine. It's nice to have a wheeled machine around. And then various skid steer attachments, little welder, some junk in the corner. We have a 960 Kloss chopper that these go on. It's not here right now. It goes in for service in the winter time. My moped, that's the little field runner. Actually, it was my grandpa's, and then I got it running good, and it's technically my fiance's, but it has not seen much traffic except for scouting fields. So flipping over, we got this 595 track machine, pretty high houred, has a lot of issues. If you see it in the lot, you probably shouldn't buy it, but it's having, I think, turbo issues right now, not 100% sure. Big Ricky's got it tore half apart. It's been running, but lack of power blows a lot of smoke. It's a good time. 6605, that is our mixer tractor. It's got over 30,000 hours on it. Just overhauled probably less than 25 hours ago. Coon Knight mixer. We like reel mixers. I think reel mixers are optimal besides auger mixers. Our mixer truck over there, that's an auger mixer. I really like how auger mixers mix. Do not care for vertical mixers. That can be a whole nother discussion if anybody wants to talk about it. Jared's old Kubota. This thing is a junker. Might be operator issues. I'm not really sure. 8430. This is our main workhorse for field work and dragline hosing. It sees a lot of time on various types of tillage equipment and anything heavy that we got to pull. Tile plow, it pulls that. But front axle is out of it right now. Rumor has it front dual's a little too stressful on that axle, so either heavier axle or maybe some floaters coming up here in the near future. This thing, this is how we get all of our cover crops done. It's just an air seeder and an old sprayer actually that we built as one, so now it air flows seed out. We do various cover crops, interseed into a lot of different things like soybeans, babbled in some corn, but mainly soybeans we plant with that, and then we'll go and plant cover crops on just open fields. We'll do that too, and then hit it with our accelerator and work them in. Homemade seed tender, that's actually made out of an old fertilizer spreader. We took the frame, chopped everything off, threw some brackets on there, and made it so we can put seed totes on top. Works pretty good. Auger sticks way out in the middle of nowhere. When you go down the road, it's a good time, but gets the job done. We don't tend to fill our planters anywhere but here, unless we're planting like rye or something. But typically, since we keep all of our fertilizer here for corn, by the time we run out of starter, we need more corn seed, so we're just coming back here. 6150 finally in here, and now that we got that new payloader, we're able to fix these plastics up. This is our merging tractor typically, but sometimes it gets used on stuff like the grinder and stuff. This got wrecked because of a stick. We were cleaning up some fence lines and stick came up, whacked that side panel, broke it, and then it was bent, and then the wheel caught it, and it was just no good. So that has new plastic sitting here, but they're not on because we figured if we didn't fix it right, it was just going to get wrecked again. So that is due to be fixed up again. This is our cleaner. We clean grain. We used to raise certified seed oats, but we don't do that anymore. Now we clean quite a bit of grain. We do a lot of rye for cover crops. We clean rye and we sell it for cover crops, and then if people have rye seed that they want cleaned, we clean it as well. So that machine, it's basically, in a sense, it's just a combine, or the rear end of a combine. It's got a bunch of sieves and put different plates in and whatnot, and you can adjust it to do various different grains, and it pretty much just sees rye is majority of the crop it sees, and then we run oats through there and stuff like that. I hope you guys brought your popcorn, because it's going to be a long ride. There's a lot to get through before it gets dark here. We got our lean-to. That's where more problematic heifers go if they are lame in any sort or have any issues getting around, that we don't want them in the free stalls. We want them on bedding pack. That's where they go. Tend to try to keep a few in there just to keep the water clean and everything, but there's usually 4 or 5 in there at a time. Then over here we have our heifer barn. These right here, almost breeding age. There's a center of the barn, and there's 2 groups over here. So youngest, not quite youngest. Then they go to the center of the barn, raise there for a while. Then they come out here to the headlocks. They're sometimes breeding age, sometimes a little too young. So yeah, right behind the heifer barn, we got our silos. These, that one's high moisture corn. That one has straw in it, and that one has high moisture corn. And then rye, there might be hay in that one. There's hay in that one for sure. But we're looking to try to just put the light crops in the silos from here on out. So like rye, cocktail mix, stuff that blows easy, that all goes in there. So in the future, that would be the plan. So over here, breeding age heifers, getting a little sloppy over here as we get all this rain, but these are breeding age here. And then we have close or short bred heifers here, and then as they get to be long bred, then we transition them over to the freestall barn. So yeah, coming around here we have various applicators for hosing. We got a little wiener box, as we call it. It's a little Groot's box. It's kind of just a filler that goes on the 6150 actually. So yeah, we got the wiener box. This is our main applicator that we do for hosing manure. It is low disturbance, meaning that it does not really till up the ground, but it strictly just injects the manure into the ground where it needs to be. Got a little Landau box grater. That thing works nice on driveways. This is our deep ripper, so if we gotta do deep tillage, get a hard pan out, this is what we're using. I would like to run it across pretty much all our hay ground when we take it out, because we practice pretty much all no-till as far as planting. So sometimes it's good to get a hard pan out, because I know sometimes that ground just gets hard. This is a makeshift dribble bar or splash bar, whatever you want to call it. It was a shank bar for hosing. These splash pans got put on it, so we'll go on hay fields and we'll top dress hay fields with that. Covers, I don't know if it does 25 feet maybe, but we steal the swing pipe off of there. That's just its own component itself, and then go and hook up to that, and then we can go hose manure with that. Now we're in the old dry cow barn. This used to be a dry cow lot. There actually used to be headlocks right about there, since there's so much stuff in the way. But those headlocks were actually really inconvenient, believe it or not, to fill those silos, because we had to back all the way around the heifer barn, which was not ideal, but it worked a lot nicer when we had wagons. We got 3-point hose reel. That's just got drag hose on it. We got about a mile of hose total, because we got this 3-point unit, and then we got that pull behind. I'm not exactly sure how much hose they hold on it, but we couldn't fit it all on that one, so this 3-point will be nice. We've never actually used this before. We just finally put the hose on it. 450M John Deere baler, wide pickup with a rotor in it. We have back here, it's gonna be hard to see, but that is a stock chopper. It is a Lopness. Is that what it says? Lopness. I think that's what it says. Works really good. Sucks corn stalks right off the ground. We got a 620F bean head, or flex head I should say. We use that for beans, and then wheat, and well, anything small grains like that that stands. But this goes on our combine, does good. The reason we got a 20-foot is because it fits down the road and get across bridges, whatnot, not have to take it off. Combine can more than handle that, no problem. Might be getting a bigger header sooner or later, but it is nice for the fact that we can just go and combine, don't have to drop the header or anything. Got this V-rake. Typically in the springtime we'll V-rake corn stalks. Sometimes we'll chop them, depends on what the weather's like. If the ground's wet, if the thrashing's, I don't know, just whatever we really feel like doing. It's our booster pump. This goes with the hosing equipment. It's a John Deere, not sure the size of the motor. I think it's like 130, 140 horsepower, that motor is. Drago 8-row corn head that goes on the combine, obviously. Great Plains, this is a 15-foot, plant our hay and small grains with it. We plant our soybeans with the corn planter though. So 30-inch rows on the soybeans, and then all of our small grains are with that. I believe it's 6.5 inches, I'm pretty sure. Over here we got the old Bearcat grinder. That's what we use to mix calf grain with, and we also grind our high moisture corn with it. That is on a 6615 John Deere. This is, I don't know if it's it's probably not 150 horse. I'm just guessing that because it's a 15, but I'm not actually sure. It might be 150, but that'd be all she's got if it's got 150. H&S blower, that is strictly used for high moisture corn, and I think we've used it for straw, but I think this last year we used our big blower for straw. So that's everything in the old dry cow shed, I believe. I don't think I missed anything. Over here we have, actually was our old milk barn, and then it was a heifer barn, so the heifers would come out here. There's a bunch of headlocks here. This would have been our bred heifers, and then the bred heifers would eventually been moved into the dry cows, and then when they started bagging and ready to freshen, then they would ship off to the other barn. But yeah, now it's coming down. Pulley pump, that's just for our basement pits. So yeah, this would have all been connected at one point in time. We built the freestall barn, chopped it in half, then I assume this became, I know that pre-fresh used to be in there, but that's a whole nother story in itself if you ask me. Fertilizer spreader, we're going to attempt to spread lime with it this spring. I've never spread lime with it before. I would have to assume it would maybe work, but who knows. It's a real unit. Massey Ferguson blower, probably can't see it, it's pretty dark in here, but that's what we blow all our forages up with, and it does all right. It's not the best blower on the market, I don't think, but it blows the feed up, especially when you put a 260 horsepower tractor on it. It tends to blow up or snub the tractor out. She plugs up good enough. So I think we covered it over here. Now on to the next location. So as we drive into the snowstorm, you can see our small start of a project there, tearing that down. We got our calf barns. This is where we started, so we've made an entire loop. That's the commodity shed, whatnot. Now we're going to head around top of the hill. Oh, so much stuff outside. The poor dump truck left outside. The old excavator left outside. We'll go check that out in a minute. So this is the corn crib. It's just a storage shed at this point in time. Obviously don't put any corn in here, but we got the old Malbert plow. We got the Kuhn Merge Max MM890. This is a continuous merger, no extension. Kuhn accelerator. If we're doing any tillage, it's probably done with this. We don't obviously do a lot of tillage, so this is a good ground leveler. You can adjust the gangs to be more aggressive, less aggressive if you want to. That spreader is my brother's. He does some custom sand hauling if the price is right. So going over here, as it gets a little darker in here, we got a culling packer. This is our combine. It's a 9750 STS. Probably kind of hard to see it, but here's a better angle. It's dirty. It didn't get washed after corn because bearings don't like water in them, especially when we got temps that are freezing. So we wash everything, or we wash the combine in the spring is what we tend to do. We have a dummy head for our combine. So this is what we typically will combine oats with. Sometimes we have to swat rye depending on the weather. It's all weather permitting is what our combining tends to be. We're gonna try to not die here. Work our way over here. Here's my baby, the 4420 case sprayer. It is a Patriot with aim command. This sprays all of our crops to do a decent amount of custom spraying as well. Just got something special for it, so it'll be exciting to try out the new equipment I got for it this summer. This is our old combine, probably worth less than the concrete it's sitting on, but it does us wonders. It's a John Deere 6620. It's got bean head on it right now, or flex head. We have a corn head and a dummy head for it. I don't really remember the last time we had the corn head on it. Probably the year before we got the new combine. But no sense in selling it. We've had this combine since, I don't know if it was new when we got it, but we've had it for forever. And it was kind of Kyle's baby when he was a little kid. He kind of took wouldn't say ownership, but it's classified as Kyle's combine. He kind of takes care of it. I've ran it a few times, but I'm more in the trucking and spraying department, so he gets to run a combine, which is nice. We kind of break up who does what, so everyone kind of has their little niche that they get into. This is my grandpa's swatter, 8400 Heston. It does all the swatting of our oats, some rye. This tends to be my machine. Kyle ran it this last year. Big Ricky, if you're not familiar, Kyle is Big Ricky. But when Grandpa bought this on auction, I got to drive it home, and it's kind of been called mine ever since. It's kind of, I don't know if it works like that on other farms, but everyone kind of has their own machinery. Not that it's necessarily anyone's, but it's kind of just how it's classified. So I was kind of turned into the swatter guy, retired my father from it. We had this old Otana swatter, no cab or nothing. I started swatting on that. Dad always did it before, and then I kind of started swatting with that, and then Grandpa bought this, and the rest is history. I love this thing. I've fallen in love with it the day we got it. So over here we got another 270 real mixer. This is we were just using it this beginning of this last year, and it's starting to fall apart, and we just got that new one. Kind of retired this one. At this point it's just a backup in case something were to happen to that one, but this one is in pretty rough condition. It has been relined, a lot of welding done to it, keep it going. Definitely mixed a lot of feed. We've had it for years and years, probably almost 10 years. So over here we got some Oz triple cutters. This is what we use to cut our hay. I don't know if it's a good idea to step on it or not. Probably not. It's a little tippy. But front and rear cutters, it does 30 feet. So this is our first triple cutter. We used to have a $49.95. That was the ticket for a lot of years. We ran that a lot of years, 15 feet at a time, and it was just eventually time to upgrade as it was starting to take a little too long to get our crops in. So that, I believe, is everything in the corn crib. So we're making good time, trying to get her done before it gets dark out. So over here we have various equipment and some junk. Load stand, this loads the frac tank. This is for hosing, that's our storage in the field. Old corn cultivator that we took all the gauge wheels off. We use it for raking up brush if we take out fence lines and stuff. It kind of almost works good for that. Tile plow, chisel plow. If you need to do any deep tillage, we do all our own tiling, so we've gotten a lot of work out of that tile plow. And then tile cart that hauls the tile. Compost pile over here. Little rabbit just ran away. And that is our dumpster. It is around 7,000 gallons. I think it's, I don't know, it'll fit a tanker if you place it just right. So our tankers are 7,200 and it will fit that. John Deere excavator 120, and then that's my spray trailer. I bought that last year. I think last year. Boy, it's not nice out. All right, we're gonna go to the next shed now. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are too. So going past the corn crib and headed back down the hill. So this right here is a cleaner shed. Uh-oh, that's not good. So this right here is a cleaner shed, our freestall barn, and then our bunkers are over here, along with over here is our manure shed. So I have a video on manure solids if you want to see this better, but this is where the Gale payloader sits. It is actually what we use to bed our cows now. It's been working actually really nice for us. We used to use a tractor before with the woodchuck. We got it on the front arms of that, and it is an extendo boom too, so we can get up pretty high and throw those manure solids pretty decent. So freestall barn, obviously right here. We got 6 Lely A5 robots in there. If you want to see them work, there's a couple videos if you look far enough down on my page, and you will be able to see those work. We're not going to drive in the barn right now because we got off sync and we got some cows in heat, and we don't need to be disturbing them any more than what they need to be, so we're not going to drive in there. And I'm trying to get this all recorded. So now driving past the calf barns, those sit in front of the freestall barn, and working our way over to the slurry store. This is where we store pretty much all of our, well, all of our liquid manure. So going over here now. All right, way off in the distance, you see those 3 little dots. Those are our manure tankers for hauling manure on the semis. We got a James Way 7400 over here. This potentially is for sale if somebody wants a really good tanker. 70% original tires on it. We ran a bit of manure through it. It never saw the road. Give me a good price, maybe I'll sell it to you. Brock grain bin, that is a Shivers system in there that dries corn. Auger for filling the grain bin. 2 hopper bottoms. That's nice. So we got 2 hopper bottoms for hauling grain. And then we got this old shed over here. In this shed we have Well, there used to be 2 gravity boxes. Now there's just 1. But 7270R, that is our corn planting tractor that goes on a triple cutter. We do leave the duals on when we triple cut, believe it or not. So don't be afraid to try it. That'll run down the rows at row crop. Another Bearcat grinder. This is turned into a parts grinder. Used to have 3 of them. Rock picker. We haven't used that in a long time. Saw a lot more time in the fields, probably when more ground was getting broke up, when there's a lot more rocks. And then that is a rock rake. I couldn't tell you the brand of either of these. This one actually says Rock Harvester United Rock Picker Company. So I assume that's who makes those. That trailer, everyone might see one of those rolling around. They were pretty popular back in the day. But we use that mainly for hauling fresh cows from the old 2-story barn to the freestall barn when we freshened cows in the old 2-story barn. And that would have been our pre-fresh back then. And then we got a little hay thing. What do you call that, a tedder? Little hay tedder. Oliver Malbird plow. Can't get rid of this thing. This is just part of family history right there. I think Kyle had it out. He used it once. I used that International, and he used that. And we had a field day at Malbird plowing. It was a good time. Probably one of the last times we ever Malbird plowed. So 7270R back again. Run that blade on there most of the time. Otherwise, it'll sit on the Fendt 926, which is also in this shed. This is our Fendt loader tractor. It is a 712. Probably really hard to see, but it is a 712 loader tractor. Old International. This thing is famous for its dead batteries. Fendt 926. This is my favorite tractor, always used to be. Love this tractor. Grew up like I was 10 years old, drove it all day long. Couldn't get me out of it. Still love it to this day. It's just outdated. It's got more power than you could ever need. We got the big baler 330 crop cutter New Holland. We just bought this last year. It is very nice and shiny. My father and I share the job of baling with this machine, but I love baling. I've grown to love baling. And then this 338 John Deere kick baler that has a brand new tire on it. We probably put a new tire on it and never used it again. Actually, that tire looks like it has some air. Usually it's flat. So yeah, that's this shed. There's not too much stuff in here, and it's pretty dark, so might as well move on. And then we got my grandpa's boat that my father has various tools on from building his sugar shack that sits right outside this building. It's pretty cool. We're now over to the steer barn. This is our youngest steers. They're just off a wean to, I don't know, they're not really a year old, maybe, well, yeah, probably over a year. I take that back, probably around a year old. And then this barn over here, get moved to here, get through that barn, and then that's our finishing barn. Cattle trailer, hauling cattle, that's 8 big ones. Little feed pusher here. The Caterpillar, this is a dirt moving machine. It is a D10, D6, D5. What am I talking about? It's a D5. I lied to everyone. D5. It needs to get its side panel put back on. This is another one of Kyle's Meyer spreaders. This is a big one, the 8865, I believe. Haul sand with it. Old farm truck. That used to be a sprayer truck, actually. That air seeder that I had in the beginning of the video, the booms were off of this truck. So that was the sprayer truck, and then it was just farm truck before that. 5420. This is arguably everyone's favorite tractor on the farm, at least to drive when you're not bedding. But when you're bedding steers, it turns into not so much of a fun tractor. So we use this to bed our steers. We throw round bales in there and it grinds them up and blows it out to bed them up. This is the 7230. It is a spreader tractor. Sits on the spreader. Crossfire Meyer 500. So that's what we haul a majority of our manure with. Going over here, we got Grandpa's Sterling, or so we call it. It is just a short semi-truck, full lockers, mean machine. C10 motor in it. Over here, we got the prettiest truck here. It is a pretty long Freightliner FLD 120. This is the long hauler. It currently needs some battery attention, but that's getting done sometime. Our Meyer 26-foot box. This is our tractor box. We kind of got this to be an extra thing to pull around to bring feedback. Why is there a bunch of bales here? I don't know. I think they were stacked on top of the truck for some reason, but I couldn't tell you. I think those actually those were taken out of the barn, were taken down, and they got brought over here to bed with, but I think the tower fell over. So yeah, Meyer box for the tractor. We got an L9000 Ford forage truck. This has got a 24-foot box on it. And then this is the International, same thing, 24-foot box. This is the truck I basically learned to drive in as far as forage trucks go. I was pretty little, could barely reach the pedals, and Dad had me running her down the lane, getting feed. Then we got the big bad Sterling. That's my dad's truck. That's what he typically will drive. And then the blue Columbia. I'll drive this truck, or I'll drive the white freight shaker. So yeah, then we got back here, we have our table. This is what runs the feed out of the trucks into the blower and then blows up the silo. This truck actually has grain kit on it right now. So moving on from that, we got a 1770 corn planter. It is probably eventually, I don't know what we're gonna do. We're either gonna trade it off. We wanna go with precision, but we don't know the right way to do it. If we want to build this one with precision, or if we wanna get a new planter with precision, or if we want to get a new planter bar and put precision on it. It's kind of a hard decision actually. But we're gonna run it this year. We put quite a bit of work into it, fixing it up. We got new openers, I don't know. It was gone through a lot of bearings. I don't remember what we all did to it. We did it last. When did we do it? I don't even know when we did it. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But we put a lot of work into it to get it where it is right now. So it's good to plant for this year. Maybe a year or two, maybe 3, we're looking at doing something different. Whether that's trading this one off, getting a newer one, whether it's tearing this one apart and putting precision stuff on it. We don't know at this point in time. But yeah, that's pretty much all our equipment. Then we got our gooseneck. That's for transporting stuff that fits on it. Then you can pull it with a pickup truck. Works pretty nice. So yeah, that didn't go too bad. Some spots were a little dark, but I don't think there's any way around that. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, I suppose. I wanna go home, get some dinner in me, and warm up a little bit. So make sure you check out the website, get yourself some Wepner Farms merch if you want some. And yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for warmer weather and spring festivities.